Hello, hello there. Once again, welcome to our second lesson, a short presentation with me, Goodson Chari. As promised in the previous lesson, today we're going to look at the users of accounting information. Now that we have prepared our financial statements, we target different kinds of users. There are different kinds of users who need the accounting information for different use. And it is important to know what these users are looking for. This knowledge will help us to tailor the statements or the financial reports. It will help us as accountants to tailor the reports to the user's needs. So, who are the users of accounting information? The users of accounting information are categorized as either internal or external. Internal or external. Internal or external to the organization. So the internal users include management, employees, owners, who all use information for day-to-day operations and performance analysis. And not forgetting the strategic planning, as we are going to look at in details later on. And then the external users include investors, creditors, customers, and the government, who all rely on the information to make decisions about the company, such as whether to invest, extend credit, or ensure tax compliance. So now let us look at the detailed needs for each of these users on their own. Let's start with the internal users. Now, management is one of the primary internal user of the financial information, financial reports. So management of an organization, they use the accounting data to make decisions, financial decisions, key financial decisions, plan about future operations, and assess performance of an organization. So management are the people who have been entrusted with resources by the owners of the business to manage the resources on their behalf. Now, for them to be able to make proper financial decisions, they need to know how the business is performing. And it is through these financial statements, the accounting information that has been provided by the accountants, that the management is able to make these financial decisions. Some of the decisions they make is whether to expand the business, or whether to relocate, or whether the business is spending more on some operations more than others, and then they tailor their plans according to how it is performing. Besides that, they also need to plan about future, budgeting, and the like. You cannot budget if you have not looked at your current and previous expenses. Besides that, they also want to assess the performance. How are they performing in terms of profitability? Most of management remunerations in most institutions is also tied to how they are performing in terms of profitability. So they can only determine this by looking at how they are performing. So all this information is provided in various reports that have been prepared by accountants, and mostly for internal users, they use what we call management accounts. Management accounts is usually for internal use by management. Other internal users of this accounting information are the employees. As employees, they're also interested in the company's profitability and stability to ensure job security and salary payments. One of the key concerns of employees is their job security. Job security is very key to employees, hence they are interested to look at whether, looking at whether the company is making profit or not. The employees will also be able to be motivated through that. Also, employees also want to know whether the salary payments will be coming in for foreseeable future. So they also want to see that. So sometimes the interest can be that of conflict with that what management needs, but all in all, that's what the employees needs the accounting information for sometimes. And then the owners of the business. Owners are the people that invested in the business. So they use this information to evaluate the company's performance and return on the investment. When you invest in a company, you would want to have returns on your investment. So you only be able to tell whether you are making small returns on your investment through evaluating the financial statements of the organization. So accounting information provided by accountants helps these owners to evaluate whether their business is worthwhile or not, and in turn, this will help them to make future decisions about providing resources to the entity. So these are the key or primary users of accounting information internally to the organization. Now, when we go to external users, investors, both present and potential. These are the people that present investors are the people that have invested in the business, but the potential ones are the ones who are contemplating on whether to invest in a particular business or not. So they analyze the financial statements to decide whether to buy, hold, or sell the shares that are in the business. So they only be able to do that if the entity has properly accounted for all its transactions through various financial statements. But this is in fact a regulatory requirement specifically for public listed companies. It is a must for them to publish their financial statements so that the users, especially the present and potential investors, have access to this to aid them in making their investing decisions. And then we talk about creditors. In our previous lessons, we talked about why the banks need this information, creditors. So these use accounting information to assess the company's financial health and its ability to repay the loans. When as a business you apply for a loan to a bank, they would want to assess your financial health through the financial statements and your performance to assess your capacity, your ability to be able to honor the loans obligations in the future. So it is only through this accounting information that they will be able to assess the company's health. So bank also need accounting information to deal, not bank only, all the creditors, that deal with that particular entity, be it credit suppliers. They would also want to know if you'll be able to honor your bills with them in the foreseeable future. Going on, the government as well is a very key interested party to the financial information of an organization, of a business, of your business. So the government uses the financial data to assess tax liabilities and ensure compliance with regulations. As a business, you are required to remit taxes to the government. So the amount of tax that you are supposed to remit to the government depends on how you have performed as a business. And how do you measure how you have performed? It is through this accounting information that we are able now to assess the profitability, the profit, or the amounts upon which the tax computations are based. Other external users be the customers. So your customers may be interested in the company's future viability, especially for long-term relationships and support. So as customers, you are their suppliers. They would usually want to deal with someone who will continue to supply them with the materials, the raw materials in the foreseeable future. So for them to assess your viability, they use this accounting information. So accounting information is also important to your customers. They are one of the primary users, external primary users of the accounting information. Then we have other users. So this category can include regulatory authorities other than the government tax division. We have other regulatory authorities, suppliers, the public, who all have a stake in companies' financial health and operations. So basically, all in all, what we are saying is different types of users require a different kind of information from the entity for them to make their future decisions about dealing with the entity. That is why nowadays it is sustainability reporting has become a very big issue with investor focus, not only investor focus, and also the other non-financial stakeholders like the community that the entity is operating in, and other regulatory reporters are also interested to look at how you as a business interact with your environment, and also how do you deal with other governance issues and your socio-economic transactions. Is at a high level, you will also learn about these sustainability issues. So that's all I had for you today. So we were simply talking about who are the primary users of accounting information and what do they need accounting information for. I hope you enjoyed. Watch out for the next lesson where we will talk about the key basic accounting principles that guide the preparation of financial statements. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. Thank you for listening. Please comment and subscribe.